Hello, how are you? First and foremost, I want to give thanks to the creator of heaven and earth and welcome. I have a question for you. Are you eating your food with purpose or are you eating your food for pleasure? Hello, my name is Alicia and on social media, I'm known as Native Creations. Check out my YouTube channel, which is called Native Creations, where I speak about digestive health. And I focus primarily on the colon. And I teach about nutrition and metabolism and how to properly cleanse and detox your body. So if you haven't heard of me before, go over to YouTube and become a subscriber to my channel, which is called Native Creations. In addition to that, I also provide content on my Instagram page where I list a different type of herb Monday through Friday. And I tell you about its chemical functions and activity, how you can combine certain herbs with other herbs to produce a certain type of medicinal use for your body. I tell you how the herb benefits your body, how your organs respond to these herbs and give your organs intelligence. And I speak about the herb's origin and where you can source it from. And I also provide the scientific name of the herb as well as its like regular commonly used name. And so there's some beautiful pictures on my Instagram. It's just like a study guide tool or a reference source you can use if you're thinking about managing your health with natural herbs. Go over to my Instagram page, which is Native Creations _8 with no spacing, and just learn about how to take care of your body using natural medicine. And then I have a podcast in which I upload a new content every Sunday. And it's basically talking about the same things, about health related issues, how the digestive system affects not only like your bowels and your stomach and things like that, but it also affects all the other organ systems in the body. So I give a little bit more in-depth information about digestive health on my podcast. I upload from Anchor. So go over to Anchor and type in Native Creations to find my podcast that I've already, put out. But you can also find me on Spotify, Google Podcast, Radio Public, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and some other ones I don't even know. But there's like a lot of other podcast platforms that do air my podcast. So, if you want to multitask, like while you're driving or if you're at home cooking and you want to listen to something educational, check out my podcast at Native Creations on Anchor. So back to my question about, are you eating your food with purpose, as in for health, or are you eating it for pleasure? Now, food is supposed to be treated as medicine for the body. And the body needs these raw organic materials found in earth through phytonutrients and minerals and vitamins and things like that to, as I said before, deliver intelligence to your organs so that if anything happens wrong in your body will be able to heal itself. So when you're eating for pleasure, it's only going to lead to pain because most pleasures do. Most pleasures give like a instant gratification of false happiness, and a person becomes used to that feeling. And so they go back to always try to have that feeling, and they do it in excess. And so the more that you're eating for pleasure, you become like a robot to want to associate food with everything. You want to associate food with if you're sad, sometimes if you're anxious, if you're angry, if you're depressed, if you're bored. Food is used in the incorrect manner, and a lot of people are using food to deal with their emotions, when in actuality or in reality, You should be using your food to deal with the health of your body. So I have a lot of people that I do consultations with that have health issues and are looking to figure out a way to combat the health issue. So I always ask them first and foremost, like, what are you eating? What's your age? How often are you producing a bowel movement? And so a lot of them will say, well, I have a bowel movement every day, or maybe 3 times a week, or I'm not really sure. And all of them, when it comes to the question about what are they eating, all of them are eating their food in an incompatible way. What I mean is they are eating the food that produces extra acid in the stomach. And as a result of that, the stomach mucous membranes have to produce excessive amounts of mucus to try and protect the stomach organ from being burnt up by the acid. So the stomach is the only acidic organ within the digestive system with a pH of its secretions of 3.6. So when you are constantly dumping in acidic food and meals into the stomach, you are already creating havoc in that organ. Now, you're not going to know this right away. You know, sickness and disease doesn't just happen overnight. These things happen progressively over time. And I've spoken about this on my YouTube and my podcast, that there are 4 stages of disease development. You have the acute, the subacute, the chronic, and degenerative. And so in the first 2 stages of disease development, the average individual is not going to notice any symptoms. They're not going to see anything different. They're not going to feel anything. In fact, there won't be any things documented in their medical notes if they're going for regular well care checkups at the doctors. There won't be anything noticeably different with the individual. And so whether or not you believe this or you understand this, you have to listen and come to understand that diseases manifest in 4 stages, and each stage is different for every individual. So just because you feel fine and you've been eating incorrectly doesn't mean that you're not going to become sick. The sickness happens, long term. And so there is a big misconception within society that forces people to expect, or some people even look forward to becoming sick once they get older. And age has nothing to do with a sickness. You should not expect to become sick or be put on medication because of your age. You actually grow sick, and by the time you are old, most of those symptoms pop up when you become a certain age. But age itself has nothing to do with sickness. It's the other way around. You've been sick for so long, and by the time you reach a certain age, now you have problems. So I would like for you to come out of that frame of thought and don't expect to become sick just because you're old. Also, many of you that I talk to will often tell me that it doesn't matter what a person eats or what time of day they eat it, because, everyone's going to die someday. And that is true. And many of you feel that you can eat whatever you want. And that is true as well. And if you feel so strongly about that, then, become like the pig and eat whatever you want. The pig eats whatever it wants. It is one of the most grotesque, disgusting animals on the face of the earth. And it's even spoken about in scripture. That is the animal that the Most High despises the most. Swine, pig, whatever you want to call it, hog. It's disgusting. And so if you feel like you can eat whatever you want when you want, then go ahead, do that. Eat a roach. But a lot of times, or often all the time, these same people that say these things and think like this, the minute they become sick, they are running to the doctor. If it's so simple in your mind that you can eat whatever you want because we're all going to die anyways, why are you running to the doctors when you become sick? Or why are you running to an herbalist or someone that is trained in health when you become sick? It's because deep down you are desiring a certain quality or a good quality of life. You want to be on this earth for as long as you can, for as long as the Most High allows, and you want to enjoy it. You want to spend time doing things that you love to do, and you want to do it with the people that you love. So, don't become complacent when it comes to health. And another thing is, when I teach, like on my Instagram channel, Instagram page, and on my YouTube channel and on my podcast, I present my information at an introductory type of level. I don't give you all of the gems just all in one setting, because people need to understand, and I want to impress upon you to understand, that when it concerns health, you can't just jump in the middle or start at the end and just want a quick, fast result or a quick, fast solution. One of my Facebook posts I put on a day or so ago says, if you want, good results, you have to do good work. So you have to start at the beginning, meaning start at the root cause of your disease or sickness, because in order to understand the ending, you have to understand the beginning. So if you are so focused on the solution for your problem, you need to understand the root cause, which is the beginning of why you got sick in the first place. Because most people that go to the doctors and things, they are given pharmaceutical drugs and the symptoms disappear for a while. They come back and people think that they've gotten better. And often at times they are told, go back to the way you were eating before you became sick, which is the reason why you became sick in the first place. Okay. Everybody goes back to the way they were eating. Even people at the gym, they will go to the gym and put in a certain amount of time working out, or they may, run outside. And when they're done with that workout, they go back to eating a poor diet. And so it's like counterproductive. It doesn't serve you any purpose. You're doing a disservice to your system, because you have to change something in order to get a different desired result. So on my channel, I strongly urged people to be cleansing, to be fasting, to take care of your hormones, and to eat your food in a compatible way. So you are never supposed to eat a protein with a starch, and you should never eat proteins at night. Each flesh meat takes a significant amount of hours to be digested, okay? And meats are only digested in your stomach. So if you're coming home from work or at the end of the day and you're consuming beef and chicken or fish or shrimp, whatever it is that is a meat product at 7 and 8 o'clock, you are damaging your digestive system. You don't even know it. And then to wake up hours later and say that you're going to consume breakfast, it's not really breakfast, because number one, the food that you ate at 8 o'clock the night before has been sitting in your gut, fermenting and causing acid. And that is what causes disease. Acid and mucus is what causes diseases. And number two, all of that waste stagnation is clogging up your colon, primarily the transverse portion of your colon. And it causes that portion of the colon to prolapse. And this is the reason for the outward protrusion of a big belly. A lot of women are walking around looking as if they're pregnant when they just have a really big stomach, because there's so much acid and waste stagnation in their digestive system. So a true fast means that you went to bed with an empty stomach, you eliminated all of your meals for the day, and you haven't eaten for a certain amount of time to then wake up the next morning and consume liquids that are alkalizing for the body. At least 16 ounces. That is a true fast. You always break your fast with liquids. It says in scripture, a wise man knows how to break a fast. And after you've consumed those liquids, 30 or 40 minutes later, you can consume some fiber, your protein if you want in the morning, if it's flesh or plant-based. And you want to buffer that protein with something alkalizing that's a solid food like vegetables or some leafy greens or some herbs. You want to consume your protein in the morning. That is the correct way to break a fast. Your fats and your starches and your sugars should be consumed between the hours of 11 and 5 p.m. when the temperatures are primarily at their hottest peak. When your body is hot, you need heat and alkali enzymes to break down those substances, your proteins, your fats, and your sugars. You're not going to consume fats at night, or you shouldn't. You should not consume sugars at night or starches. At night, you only are supposed to be ingesting liquid. Now, I know a lot of you are like, what are you talking about, Alicia? Like liquids? Yes, liquids, because liquids take a few minutes to be, processed by the digestive system, and they don't take a long time to be excreted by the digestive system. So liquids will allow you to go to bed with an empty stomach. And in turn, when you wake up in the morning, you will have a lot of energy. People go to sleep and wake up and feel so exhausted and tired and sore as if they didn't sleep the night before. But that's coming from all of that waste stagnation in your gut. That is why you're tired. Your cells bathe in alkalinity. They need to be able to breathe, okay? And most of the digestive system, or basically all of it, is very important for the health and correlates to your nutrition and your hormones, because number one, 80% of your immune system cells are located in your colon, and your colon corresponds to all of the organs in your body. So the colon is not supposed to be used as a cesspool to just allow waste to sit there and rot and ferment. It is like the sewage system. It is to receive the waste and remove it out of your body. And your small intestines is the first organ that filters your blood. And so if you go to bed with this food sitting in your gut and you're not supposed to, you force your immune system to do something it's not supposed to do, and that is to digest your food. And by doing that on a regular basis, causes your immune system to become overzealous or overactive. And it attacks this food because it is a foreign substance or a foreign invader to the immune system. So the immune system is so focused on trying to protect your digestive system from this food that wasn't digested properly by the digestive system, that leaves all of your other organ systems vulnerable to disease and illnesses, because the immune system is not supposed to be digesting your food. This is one of the main reasons for allergies and autoimmune diseases, forcing the immune system to do something it's not supposed to do, like digest your food. So your immune system also deals with your lymphatics and your blood, which are both part of the immune system. We have 45 pints of lymphatic fluid. And basically the lymphatics are composed of vessels and fluids that flow parallel to the bloodstream, in which we have 15 pints of blood in our body. And the blood is supposed to circulate the body 9 times a minute. So the body is a very complex system. Okay, it operates as one unit. Many of you will tell me you went to the doctor and were told you have an issue with this organ, but the rest of your organs are fine. To me, that is a lie from the pits of hell, because like I said before, the body operates as one unit. So just because you don't have any symptoms from that organ yet, because of what I've said before earlier about disease manifestation, doesn't mean that you're fine. If you are overweight, obese, or what have you, trust me, your entire digestive system is thrown off balance. Your endocrine system is thrown off balance. Your immune system is not working at peak as it should, and your blood is filled with toxins. That's for anybody. And what a lot of you don't know is that once you reach the age of 50, regardless of your health status, your pancreas, which is also a part of the endocrine system and the digestive system, loses 60% of its enzyme functioning capability, meaning you lose 60% of the enzymes that are needed to break down your fats, your starches, and your sugars. So that's why most people are filled with diabetes and don't even know why they have diabetes. In order to fix diabetes, you have to figure out if you are insulin sensitive or if you are insulin resistant, or if you are just a borderline diabetic. And see, the problem with that being borderline diabetic is that you are placed on diabetic drugs prematurely, which in turn end up giving you diabetes full blown. Insulin sensitivity is if you eat, say for instance, a mango or a banana, your sugar spikes way above between 150 and 180 really quick. And it takes forever for that sugar to come back down and drop below, 100. That is insulin sensitive. A person who is not insulin sensitive, they can eat a sugar, that same fruit or mango, and their sugar may spike to 150 or 160, but it comes back down really, really quick within 10 minutes. So you have to figure out if you are insulin sensitive. Being insulin resistant means that your beta cell receptors, because the pancreas is a gland, it secretes hormones, okay, and enzymes, but the beta cell receptors are clogged with fats and acids. Your pancreas cannot regulate you are producing insulin, but not enough. And the doctor thinks that you're not producing insulin at all. So he gives you insulin, not knowing that your beta cell receptors are clogged. All you have to do is cleanse your body, detox. And to prevent poor circulation. That is what being insulin resistant is. So you have, dairy is another huge acid mucus forming food. It is in everything. It is in things that it shouldn't even be in. Dairy, I don't care, and all of its byproducts are horrible. We are the only adult species of beings on earth that consume lactation in adulthood. That type of protein that you get from your mother when you're young, that milk, breast milk, is meant for, building up the baby through infancy into, becoming a toddler. But after 18 to 24 months, after that first molar has manifested, you're supposed to wean your baby off of breast milk because the body can no longer break it down. So why on earth would you consume milk as an adult and milk from an animal? That milk is meant for their offspring, not a human. And the worst culprit of dairy is cheese, because cheese produces its own waste, and it's called whey. That's why a lot of you who like to take whey protein are doing your body a huge disservice. Stay away from whey, because whey produces its own waste, like it's waste. And so it's just detrimental for your body. It clogs up the digestive system. And with dairy, it gets lodged in like the largest places of the body. It becomes stored and continues to ferment. So it gets stored in a woman's uterus or reproductive area, the lungs, the liver. It's horrible. So learn to use your food for the health of your body, like as if it were medicine. It is medicine, instead of just eating for pleasure, because that type of pleasure is going to lead to pain. Eating. So thanks for watching, and take care.